Hey guys, what's up? It's TDRP Cubing here, and today I have a 5-cube unboxing. And as you can see, I did get some lube along with the rest of the order, but I did just realize today that I already had plenty of lube, so now I have even more lube. So I shouldn't need any of this for a while. Alright, so for the first cube, we have got the Mofeng Jiaoshi RS2M Evolution. This is a 2x2 I heard about a few months ago, and it's actually my first ever Mofeng Jiaoshi 2x2. Alright, so it came with a pretty nice cube stand and some accessories, which are a pamphlet, a screwdriver, and a spring adjustment tool, which will be pretty nice. Alright, so here's the cube. It feels kind of glossy, but let's go ahead and get into first turns. Alright, it actually feels really nice. Wow. I am not sure whether or not I was expecting it to be this good, but it's pretty good. Only complaint right now is that it feels a little bit dry, but I think that with lube and setup, this cube will be even better, which means it might actually become my main or backup. So I definitely look forward to setting this thing up. Another thing I noticed right off the bat is that this cube feels pretty light, which also gives it a pretty airy feel as well. And so let's go ahead and try out this spring adjustment system. So as far as I know, all you have to do is just put this tool right here and then just turn it. So let's go ahead and try that out. Alright, so it seems like there are 8 settings. Actually, there are only like 4 or 5 settings. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on, let's say, the second setting and just see what kind of difference it makes. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so that should be about it. So let's go ahead and try it out. It's definitely noticeable. I actually feel like I have more control now that it's on the second setting, so I definitely like that. And I'll most likely tinker around with this a little bit after this video and probably try out some more settings, but right now this setting is my favorite one, at least compared to the default setting, which is the lowest setting. So now that I've got the cube all scrambled up, I'll go ahead and try a speed solve. So let's go ahead and try that out in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, that wasn't bad. Not sure what the time was, but it felt pretty fast. And so yeah, this is a pretty good cube. It's definitely better than the Weipo WRM in my opinion, which is my only other Moyu 2x2 as far as I know. And I definitely think this has a lot of potential. Alright, so heading on to the next cube, we have got the Moyu WRM 2021 MagLev edition. This is definitely one of the most exciting cubes of this unboxing. Right, so it looks like it came in one of those really cool cube boxes along with a pamphlet and some accessories. And so the accessories look to be a pamphlet, a screwdriver, whatever tools these are, and of course the spring compression tool. So one thing I really like about this cube is the purple internals, which actually look really cool. And so let's go ahead and get into first turns. Wow. This feels just as good, if not better, than the WRM 2021 when I did first turns on it. Like right now, obviously, of course, the WRM 2021 is going to be better because I've set it up, but I feel like this cube will be even better once I set this up. One thing I'm noticing that I like a lot is the level of control. It simultaneously feels loose yet controllable at the same time, which is definitely a pretty interesting feeling. I definitely think that the spring compressions could be a little bit tighter, but besides that, this cube feels really good. And it's honestly almost exactly what I expected it to be, which is a big positive for me. I mean, at the very least, this will definitely replace my backup main, and it will most likely replace my main too. Because at the end of the day, it's basically the same cube, but it's MagLev, which makes it even better in my opinion. And this is actually my second ever MagLev cube. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pop all the caps off and adjust the spring compression to be just a little bit tighter. Probably the 4th setting like I prefer on most of my Moyu 3x3s. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so now that the spring compression is on the 4th setting, let's go ahead and try it out again. Yep, that's definitely better. I think that if it were maybe one setting lighter, then it would be perfect. Because this feels pretty good, but it feels like it could be just a little bit lighter. And so while we're at it, let's go ahead and do a speed solve with this cube. Alright, so now that the cube's all scrambled up, let's go ahead and try a speed solve in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, that actually felt really good. That felt like a pretty quick solve. I'm not sure exactly what the time was, but that felt pretty fast. And so yeah, this is a really good cube, like I said, and I definitely can't wait to set it up. This feels like a really, really good future main in my opinion. Alright, and so for the next cube, we have got the Weilong Pyraminx MagLev edition. I've definitely heard some pretty great things about this Pyraminx. So it came with some accessories and of course the cube. And so for the accessories, we have got a pamphlet, some screwdrivers, an extra core, and of course the spring compression tool. And so just like the 3x3 I just unboxed, this Pyraminx also has purple internals, which look really good in my opinion. And so let's go ahead and get into first turns. Wow, I love the feel of this thing already. It has a really nice tactile feel, and it doesn't feel like any other Pyraminx I really have, to be honest. It has this pretty weird pop when you turn it. It's kind of cool. Like if I barely turn the side past halfway, it's already going to snap into place. See? Not sure if I like that a whole lot or not, but I know that if you turn this, you can actually adjust the magnet strength, so that might be pretty useful. But I feel like if I made the magnet strength any lighter, it would actually feel worse. And I'm not the greatest at turning Pyraminxes, so having that snap might actually be pretty helpful to me. So let's go ahead and try out that magnet adjustment system. Right now, it should be on the strongest setting, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on a weaker setting, but not make it too much weaker. So let's go ahead and try it out. Alright, so let's see how it feels in comparison on a lighter setting. I think I prefer the stronger magnets. It definitely still has a pretty strong click, but in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be strong enough. It actually feels pretty nice though. And so now I'm going to go ahead and try out the spring compression. I'm assuming it's on a looser spring compression right now because that's what it feels like. So let's go ahead and check it out. I don't like how difficult these tips are to take off. This is pretty frustrating. Alright, so I was finally able to get all the tips off. It was definitely more painful than I really would prefer it to be, but let's go ahead and try out this spring compression system. So let's go ahead and begin. Alright, so now that I've finally got the spring compression set to the 4th setting, let's go ahead and try it out. It definitely feels better, and to be honest, I don't want to have to do that again, so I might just keep it on the setting anyways, but it actually feels pretty good. And so I may as well go ahead and scramble the Pyraminx up and try speed solve on it. So now that it's all scrambled up, let's go ahead and try speed solve on it in 3, 2, 1. Go. Wow, that was definitely easier than I thought it would be. And so yeah, this is a really good Pyraminx. I definitely like it a lot. Of course, obviously my main complaint is the spring compression system, but besides that, the Pyraminx itself feels really good. And so for the second to last puzzle, we have got the Sangso 3x3 clock. This puzzle looks really interesting. So it came with a pamphlet and of course the puzzle. Alright, here's the puzzle, so let's go ahead and try it out. So it turns pretty well. These pins right here definitely have a pretty restricted motion. You can't really move them that much. And the cube is actually really, really tiny. Here it is compared to the size of a regular clock, and it's quite a bit smaller. It's even more noticeable when you're holding it in your hands. So now I'm going to go ahead and scramble it up and try a solve. Alright, so now that's all scrambled up, let's go ahead and try to solve on it. Alright, that was actually really easy. So yeah, this is a pretty simple and fun cube, and I definitely think it's really interesting. Anyone who knows how to solve a clock will definitely be able to solve this. It's even easier. And so yeah, that's just about all I have to say about it. And so heading on to the final puzzle, we have got the Sangso 5x5 clock. This looks like a really interesting puzzle. So this one also came with a pamphlet. And so here's the puzzle, so let's go ahead and get into first turns. So it turns about as well as the 3x3 clock does. I remember in the Cubicles video about this, JR Cuber was talking about how he didn't think it turned that well, but I actually think it turns just fine. So he must have gotten a different version of it. And so now I may as well scramble it up and try to solve on it. Alright, so now let's go ahead and try to solve it. Alright, that should be good. Yep, and so yeah, that was a pretty fun solve, and it was also pretty easy as well. And I also think that anyone who knows how to solve a regular clock will be able to solve this one too. And so yeah, that's just about it. So that, guys, was the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any questions, then make sure to ask them down in the comments below. Besides that, have a good day and bye. See you next time.